Welcome to our definitive capstone explainer. This is where we take everything, the entire E&M coding engine, and synthesize it into pure, mastery-level application. If you've been following along, you know we've covered a massive amount of ground. Well, today is the day we bring it all together. We're going to lock in that authoritative framework so you can confidently audit, code, and strategize literally any evaluation and management encounter you face. Let's get right to it.
So here's our roadmap for today's grand finale. We're doing an EM Master Framework recap, an outpatient case study application, a critical care transition case, AAPC exam strategy tactics, fatal EM compliance pitfalls, and then finally, our series finale and next step.
All right, Part 1, EMM Master Framework Recap, Synthesizing the Decision Engine.
Now, the real secret here is knowing exactly which lever to pull, right? Are you going to use medical decision-making or are you going to use total time? You want to choose whichever one allows for the highest appropriate reimbursement. But you've got to keep in mind that the rules absolutely change depending on the setting. While office visits let you choose between time and MDM, certain categories, like the emergency department, are solely based on MDM. You literally cannot use time to code an ED visit. Conversely, critical care, that is heavily reliant on total time spent.
And if you're ever confused, following this exact logic flow is the absolute best way to determine if a patient is new or established. It all boils down to the 3-year rule. Have they received any professional face-to-face services from a provider of the exact same specialty and subspecialty within the same group practice in the last 3 years? If yes, they're established. If no, they're new. Internalizing this flow will save you from a massive cascade of coding errors right at the intake level.
Moving right along to Section 2, Outpatient Case Study Application, Complex Scenarios.
Imagine this. A new patient presents to the office with a highly complex cardiac issue. The provider spends a total of 70 minutes on the date of the encounter. That 70 minutes includes evaluating the patient, counseling them on preventative measures, doing a minor bedside procedure, and ordering multiple diagnostic tests. So what do? How do we process this massive amount of clinical data to arrive at the right code?
It's actually fascinating to look at the AI-like processing logic we need to adopt mentally. Modern computer-assisted coding tools use natural language processing to do exactly this. Step 1, they ingest the data. Step 2, parse out the key entities, the diagnoses, the tests ordered. Step 3, score the complexity. Step 4, apply the risk matrix. And finally, generate a recommendation. As an expert coder, you're basically doing this exact same algorithmic extraction in your head every single time you read a provider's note.
Applying that exact algorithm, just look at the bottom row for our cardiac patient. Because it's a new patient, and the provider spends 70 minutes of total time on the date of the encounter, leveraging time rightfully elevates the code to a 99205. The time threshold for a 99205 is 60 to 74 minutes. If we had only used MDM, we might have totally missed capturing the full extent of the provider's cognitive labor and time investment.
Okay, on to Section 3, Critical Care Transition Case Facility Rules. Picture this scenario. A patient presents to the ED, is evaluated, but then rapidly deteriorates into septic shock. The provider has to shift from standard ED management straight into critical care, providing 90 minutes of continuous direct management. We're talking life support decisions, managing a ventilator, the whole shebang. Because critical care time can overlap with EM services performed on the same day, we absolutely must separately document that time and utilize modifier 25. This ensures both the ED visit and the critical care are appropriately captured without double counting the time.
Now, take a really close look at the stark difference between the AMA and CMS columns here. This is a massive payer-specific trap. While the American Medical Association allows the base critical care code 99291 starting at 30 minutes, and then you add 99292 for the time between 75 and 104 minutes, Medicare CMS has highly specific overlapping time constraints. Under CMS rules, there is no way you can bill that first add-on code until you hit 104 minutes. Being super familiar with these differing guidelines depending on who you're billing is absolutely essential.
Going back to our 90-minute septic shock case under standard AMA rules, you'd code 99291 for the first 74 minutes. That leaves exactly 16 minutes of critical care time. Since the add-on code 99292 covers each additional 30 minutes, you simply attach one unit of 99292 to capture that remaining time block.
All right, Section 4, APC Exam Strategy Tactics, the Insider's Edge.
By utilizing the elimination method, you can literally slice through complex exam scenarios in under 90 seconds. The trick? Don't read the whole paragraph first.
Target the MDM decision tables and hunt for keyword triggers. For example, if you see the phrase independent historian, boom, immediately know you're looking at least at a moderate data complexity element. Isolate whether the question is pushing you toward total time or medical decision-making, and immediately cross out the 2 multiple choice options that just don't fit that path.
And here is a classic pair-specific trap to watch out for on your national exams. You absolutely must know exactly when to use the CPT code 99417 versus the newer HCPCS time add-on code G2212 for prolonged services. Examiners love to test if you know which code corresponds to the AMA's commercial guidelines versus Medicare's CMS guidelines. Spotting this trap instantly gives you the right answer.
Section 5. Fatal EM compliance pitfalls, real-world audits.
Caution is definitely required here, guys. Based on real-world audit data, these are the 5 most frequent billing failures that can absolutely devastate a practice's revenue cycle. We're talking everything from double counting the time spent on care management to miscalculating the actual data points in the MDM table. But the most dangerous of all, the one that triggers immediate recoupments, is missing the medical necessity justification because of bad documentation habits.
Let's define this clearly, because it is without a doubt the #1 offender: cloned documentation. Basically, copying and pasting yesterday's exam into today's note with 0 changes. This is a massive red flag. Why? Because it completely destroys your ability to justify the specific medical necessity of today's unique encounter. If an auditor sees the exact same physical exam for 5 visits in a row, they're going to downcode or deny the claim, regardless of how much time the provider actually spent. Every single note must be individualized.
Finally, Section 6, Series Finale and Next Steps, your continued growth. As you move forward from this series, I want you to never forget this foundational principle. When you're coding evaluation and management, you are not just ticking boxes. You're coding the provider's cognitive workload. You are translating their clinical expertise, their thought process, and their risk assessment into the standard data that drives the entire healthcare system.
And with that, your Master E&M course is complete. You now have the authoritative framework. Whether you're aiming for your initial CPC certification, stepping up to the CPMA as an auditor, or managing a practice's revenue cycle, you have the tools to dissect any chart, defend any code, and optimize reimbursement both ethically and accurately.
The framework is all yours now, but the real test starts tomorrow. When you sit down to audit your next chart, are you just going to be checking boxes, or will you uncover the true cognitive value of that patient encounter? Keep growing. Stay sharp, and always rely on the foundational guidelines we've built here together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Decode Healthcare with Harshal.